Look at this person. $40,000 SUV in the driveway, designer watch, VIP tables every weekend. From the outside, they look like they've made it. But here is the mathematical reality. Their bank account currently holds $47. They are literally poorer than the barista serving their coffee. This is the $30,000 millionaire trap. It is the single most common way people destroy their financial future while looking completely fine on the outside. In this video, I'm going to expose the exact mathematical equation that is bleeding them dry in the background, and the two-step wealth interception protocol that actual millionaires use to quietly build real wealth. Let me describe this person more precisely, because there's a good chance you either know one or you're closer to being one than you'd like to admit. The 30K millionaire doesn't necessarily make $30,000 a year. The name is about the mindset, not the income. They might make $50,000. They might make $80,000. What defines them is the gap between what they earn and what they project. They lease a car they can barely afford because the right car signals success. They put designer clothes on a credit card at 22% interest because the right clothes open doors. They post the vacation, the dinner, the VIP table. And every single month, no matter how much their income grows, they end the month with nothing left. Not because of bad luck, not because life is expensive, because of one invisible habit. Their money flows out before it ever truly lands. Every dollar earns its way into someone else's pocket the moment it arrives. The car company claims it's cut. The credit card company claims it's cut. The restaurant, the clothing brand, the furniture store, they all collect first. And what survives that gauntlet is what's left for building anything, which, most months, is nothing. Here's the financial mechanism that makes this trap so devastating. And it runs on two fronts simultaneously. Front one, the interest. The average credit card interest rate sits between 22 and 27% right now. When you finance that $1,200 phone or carry a balance on that $500 night out, you don't just spend that money, you pay compound interest on it, charging backward every single month on something that's already losing value. Front two, the bleed. You take $400 a month to finance a car to impress strangers. 5 years later, you own a rusting piece of metal worth maybe $8,000. Take that exact same $400, put it in a basic index fund, and in 5 years, you have nearly $30,000 in cold, hard cash working for you. The 30K millionaire chooses the rusting metal. Every single month. The 30K millionaire makes that trade every month for every major purchase in their life. Car, watch, furniture they financed at the store, phone upgrade on a payment plan. And because each individual decision feels small and manageable, they never see the total destruction happening in the background. Because compound interest doesn't care about your feelings, it runs the math regardless. Here is the brutal reality of the people you are trying to copy. More than half of them would panic if their tire blew out tomorrow because they literally do not have $1,000 in their bank account. Yet these are the exact same people driving $40,000 SUVs. Let me be clear. Spending money to look wealthy is the mathematical guarantee that you will never actually be wealthy. So here's your first action. And most people who do this are genuinely shocked by the number they find. You can do it in the next 10 minutes. Pull up your last 3 bank statements and your most recent credit card statement. Go through every recurring payment and every major purchase from the past 90 days. For each item, ask one question. Is this gaining value or is this losing value? Car payment, losing value. Credit card interest, losing value on things you already consumed. Investment contribution, gaining value. Emergency fund, building security. Everything else, evaluated honestly. Add up every monthly dollar going toward things that are depreciating. Multiply by 12, that's your annual cost of looking rich. Then open any free compound interest calculator and enter that same monthly amount invested at 7% over 20 years. The number that appears on the right side of that screen. That's not what the trap costs you in cash. That's what it costs you in future wealth you traded for appearances. Write it down. Now, knowing about the trap is step 1. But the reason almost everyone who learns this still falls into it is that the problem runs deeper than spending habits. It's about what you've been taught wealth is supposed to look like. And almost everything you've been shown is wrong. Close your eyes for a second and picture the wealthiest person in a typical American suburb. What do you see? Big house. New car. Boat in the driveway. Expensive clothes. That image your brain just generated. It isn't based on reality. It's based on what wealth looks like in movies, TV shows, and social media feeds. Here's what the actual data shows. The most comprehensive study ever conducted on American millionaires tracked thousands of real high-net-worth individuals over decades. The findings were so counterintuitive that most people who read them assume there's a mistake. The average American millionaire drives a used car, lives in a house worth less than $400,000, shops at regular stores, not designer boutiques, and if you pass them on the street, you would never, ever guess. The wealthiest person in your neighborhood? There's a real chance they're the quiet one you barely notice. Not the one with the flashy car. Not the one posting the vacation photos. That's what makes the signs invisible. The 30,000 millionaire is loud. Real wealth is silent. Why does this keep happening? Generation after generation. Because wealth isn't what you display. Wealth is what you don't spend. Every millionaire in that study shared one core behavior, not a specific investment strategy, not a lucky windfall, not an unusually high income. They consistently spent significantly less than they earned. For years. Often for decades. And the gap between what they earned and what they spent became the foundation of everything. Here's the number that stops most people cold when they actually do the math. Here is the dirty secret about making your first $100,000. Everyone thinks it's about picking the perfect crypto or timing the real estate market. It's not. The math proves that nearly 80% of your first $100,000 comes entirely from brute force saving. The compounding engine doesn't even ignite until you hit a critical mass of capital. In the early game, your savings rate is your only weapon, and the only way to build that mass is to spend less than you earn automatically before lifestyle can absorb it. The 30K millionaire has a savings rate of 0. Every raise gets absorbed by a better car, a nicer apartment, more expensive restaurants. The cycle never breaks because the system was never designed to break it. Your second action is simple. And it's the number most people avoid calculating because it tells the whole truth. It takes about 10 minutes. Calculate your net worth right now. Not your salary, not your credit score, not what your apartment looks like. Net worth equals everything you own minus everything you owe. Your savings, your investments, your car's current resale value. Minus your credit card balances, your car loan, your student debt, any other liability. Open a spreadsheet. List every asset with its current market value. List every debt with its current balance. Subtract whatever that number is. That is your actual financial starting point. Track it every single month. Most people who do this for the first time aren't shocked by how low the number is. They're shocked by seeing the 30,000 millionaire math in black and white for the first time. If your net worth is flat or declining while your income is rising, lifestyle inflation is winning. And the fix is not earning more. It's stopping the leak. You now know what the trap costs. You know what real wealth actually looks like. But here's where almost every piece of financial content stops. At the information level. If this is the kind of analysis you want more of, subscribing takes 2 seconds. I put one of these out every week, no filler. Just the mechanics most people never learn. Now, here's why knowing all of this still won't save you. Because the problem was never that people didn't know saving was important, but knowing this won't save you. Why? Because willpower never beats lifestyle inflation. When your full paycheck hits your account, your brain treats it as available money. And available money gets spent. It's not a character flaw, it's human hardwiring. The people who actually escape the 30,000 millionaire trap don't do it by trying harder. They remove the human decision entirely. They use the wealth interception protocol. The moment your paycheck hits, your lifestyle wants to absorb it, so you intercept it. You set an automatic transfer that takes 10% of your income and locks it in an index fund the exact day you get paid. Before rent, before groceries, before your ego can spend it. The moment your paycheck arrives, a fixed percentage moves automatically to savings and investments, before rent, before groceries, before any other expense. You live on what remains. And the money that moves automatically, before your spending brain ever sees it, doesn't exist as far as your lifestyle is concerned. You adapt, you calibrate to a slightly lower baseline, and the money you never see begins compounding silently. Month after month. Year after year. The math on this is not subtle. Automate 10% of your take-home pay to investments starting at 25 at an average salary with average market returns. And don't touch it. By 55, that single automation, never increased, never optimized, never timed, is worth over $400,000. The 30K millionaire spends those same 30 years financing appearances. One person ends up with $400,000 in actual assets. The other ends up with nothing and a closet full of things worth a fraction of what they cost. The system is not complicated. The commitment to setting it up is the only barrier. Here is the exact execution. Do this week, not someday. Log into your bank account. Go to the automatic transfers section. Set up a recurring transfer for 10% of your take-home pay, scheduled for the day after each paycheck arrives, going directly into an investment account. A Roth IRA if you qualify, or a standard brokerage account holding a single S&P 500 index fund. Then set up a second automatic transfer, 2% of your income, going to a separate savings account labeled emergency fund. Leave it there, untouched, until you have 3 to 6 months of essential expenses saved. 2 transfers. Set them up once. The system runs without you. Do not optimize the fund selection before doing this. Do not spend 3 weeks researching which ETF has the lowest expense ratio. The fund choice matters far less than the behavior. The single most important variable is that the money moves automatically before lifestyle can absorb it. You've just built the exact financial architecture that separates people who build wealth from people who perform it. It runs invisibly. It runs every month whether you think about it or not. It builds in the background while the 30,000 millionaire finances another lease. There's a line at the end of The Millionaire Next Door. The book based on the most comprehensive study of actual American millionaires ever conducted, that I think about every time I see someone financing a lifestyle they can't sustain. If your goal is to become financially secure, you'll likely attain it. But if your motive is to make money to spend money on the good life, you'll never make it. 3 moves. Audit your image spending and calculate the real compounding cost. Track your net worth as the only number that tells the truth. Automate 10% to yourself before lifestyle inflation absorbs it. This week, not someday. But here's what most people miss in the first years of building wealth. There's a math problem hiding in how you think about reaching your first $100,000. Most people are optimizing the completely wrong variable. The answer is surprising, and it changes the strategy entirely. I made a video on exactly this. It's on screen right now. And if breaking down the mechanics most people never learn is what you're here for, subscribe. 1 video per week, no obvious advice. Drop a comment. Are you a 30K millionaire? Or do you know one? I read every single one.